Joining me tonight, my name is Mike Tellerino. I am the CEO of K9 for Veterans. Tonight, I have a very special guest with me, Doug Jackson. Doug, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Well, as Michael said, I'm Doug Jackson, and I was in the motorcycle business for the last 40 years. Ran Woodstock Harley for the last 25, and I have a tremendous passion for helping our veterans out. And I've been with War Dogs organization for the last 6-7 years now. We've been doing rides out of Woodstock Harley.
How did it start? Give us a little background on War Dog Charity Riders.
Stephen Pinsler had the idea because he's a veteran as well, and from probably just seeing people struggle with the challenges they struggle with after they come home from wartime. So Stephen kicked that off, and your organization has been the recipient of our funds for how many years now, Michael? It's got to be
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael Pinsler is our founder and CEO. Yeah.
I remember getting the call from Steve, and he said, yeah, this is Steve from War Dog Charity Riders, and, we'd like to do a ride for you and give you the proceeds. And I'm thinking, who's this?
Right.
And lo and behold, Steve and I, we struck up a really good relationship. Steve is a great guy. Yeah. His heart is in the right place. He does a lot for our veterans. And since you've come on board and took a more active role in War Dog Charity Riders, I mean, the group is expanding. Yeah. I mean, it's growing every week. The breakfast that you tell us a little bit.
Yeah. We, I'm from a family that my mother was a great cook and would break bread together. Well, you know a little bit about that.
A little bit. Big Italian.
Yeah. Big Italian family. And she kept the family together by pulling us together on Sundays and eating together. So recently, Stephen and I and a couple of the other people that work on the board with us, we got together and came up with the idea we're going to start breaking bread together on Sunday mornings. Mm-hmm. And we do it out of McHenry veterans. I'm trying to remember. McHenry VA. Okay. So we just break bread together. We but some people come and speak, and we get everybody together and have about 100 people each Sunday morning.
That's amazing. That's really a great turnout.
Well, and it's all that the place can handle.
Yeah.
About 100. So we're looking to expand right now.
Well, we have a ride coming up. Why don't you give us a little background about this ride we're going to be doing? So
the ride's the first Sunday of June, and we'll have another one in September. And we'll have probably 400 or 500 riders. Wow. Is our goal to support. And the money we raised is $30 a bike. And the money we raise, and we'll be heading out of Woodstock Harley on that Sunday. All the money will go to K9s for Vets because you do such a great job with that money.
And we like that. Well, the proceeds that we've gotten, we received from War Dog Charity Riders, we're actually able to present a few dogs to some of the veterans, and that covered everything for these veterans and stuff. And their life has changed because of what the efforts that War Dog Charity Riders put into that ride to generate that kind of funds to actually be able to provide and pay for a service dog for a veteran. I mean, for us, it doesn't get better from that because it's a turnkey for us. We just come there, introduce ourselves, and walk away with the check.
Right. Well,
not a bad deal.
No, but you've earned that, Michael.
Well, we try.
You've earned that.
We try.
We feel like we can do a much better job, and we're working toward that. I'm in my semi-retirement of running the store, and this is a passion of mine.
Woodstock, I mean, that's just a great place to buy a motorcycle from. You have a room there. It's all dedicated to military veterans.
Yes.
How did that start? I walk every time I go to Woodstock Harley. I have to go in that room because I'm in awe of everything that you have there, and how now that space that's in that room could be dedicated to selling stuff, but yet you chose to make that something that's dedicated to our veterans, and I think that's just an amazing gift. What you're I mean, I'm in awe every time I walk in there. It's just a great room.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to that, Michael. But we started off with a veterans memorial out front of the store. Mm-hmm. So it's I believe it's an 80-foot flagpole with what I call one big ass flag, and people can buy, bricks to commemorate or memorialize. And so we started that, and then a friend of mine called Tim Crabb came to me, and he wanted to do more. And he got some donations put together, and we put together every faction of the military over the years.
It's an amazing room.
Yeah.
If I have to recommend anybody that's in the Woodstock area, they need to go to Woodstock Harley. If not, and I wish they would buy a Harley, but if not to buy a Harley, at least go in there and check out this room.
Yeah.
I mean, because like I said, it's just an amazing room. The memorabilia that you have in that room, it's just amazing. It really is.
Well, it shows respect to those that have served. I did not serve. Mm-hmm. My uncle had in Vietnam. I'll never forget sitting in front of a television back when we had the phonograph type of thing, and my oldest brother, I can't remember what year he was born in, but he was right in the middle of that Vietnam era. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, watching the numbers.
Right.
And he didn't go, but a lot of his friends had that I knew, and many of them didn't come back. And those that did came back just struggling. And my own son served recently. He's 40. But he served recently, and did the Afghanistan tour. And those guys come back, and in need of something, some type of support.
I think what aggravates me the most, and I'm not trying to get political in any way, shape, or form, but we are not doing enough for our veterans that come home after serving our country. Correct. And we're just not. What they're doing for everybody else, they should be doing for our veterans first and foremost.
Right.
Bar none, hands down, we're not doing enough for them. I got an email this morning. I'm looking at it on my cell phone right now. There's a young man, is in his 30s, I believe, veteran, served in combat. He wrote a letter to his wife and posted it, and after he wrote the letter, he took his life. I mean, how do we not help our veterans more than we're helping? And by what you're doing with War Dog Charity Riders, raising the funds, if we can help one veteran not take that final step,
right,
then we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
I believe the number is still, last I knew, Michael, still 22 of our veterans are taking their lives. Probably a little bit more than that today.
Let me tell you, the number's a lot higher than that. But the reason why they're never going to change that number out there in public is because it's so recognized with PTSD. Okay, so even if the number was 34, they're never going to change that. It's always going to be safe 22. Because it's the most recognized number when you associate it with the veteran. And that's fine. And if that helps the recognition and get more people aware of what our veterans are going through, and again, we're just not doing enough for our veterans. We're not, they need more help, and we're just not giving it to them. You know, we've got homeless veterans on the street living under bridges, eating out of garbage cans, standing on a corner asking for donations. Now, these gentlemen, they went out and served our country. They put their life on the line.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for anything in return. They came home and they were shunned.
Yeah.
They were just, people turned their back on them. The government, I should say, not people. You know, and I think, like you said, during the Vietnam era, when our veterans came home, they were spit at, they were cursed at, they were thrown things at them.
Yes, sir.
They were called baby killers, you know. So, fortunately, from that, I think we've learned a lot of valuable lessons on how not to treat our veterans.
Yeah.
Thank God today, you know, there's a lot of great organizations out there doing a lot of great things for our veterans. And I think it's because of the way we treated our veterans when they came home from Vietnam that we learned that's not what you do to our heroes.
Yeah.
These guys were going to write a check that they didn't know if it was going to cash or not.
Yeah.
So-
Well, and they're kids when they go in,
Yeah.
right? And guys like me that didn't serve but had family members, you bear a little bit of guilt also because you didn't go. You didn't sign up to go. They did. My son works up at the VA hospital up in Milwaukee, and I had dinner with him last night. And we just started. We started a chapter up in Wisconsin as well for
Yeah.
War Dogs
Right.
to support. And our feeling is if we can save, 4 or 5 of those vets a year, we're doing our job. And I can't thank you enough for all you do because we're raising money, but you and your team are doing the work to actually put them in the hands of a veteran in need. And we have these young men speak at our gatherings, and it's so heartfelt. I mean, we're talking to a young man, Ben, the other day.
Great guy.
Great young man. And he said he was in his basement for a year. And didn't want to see a soul. Well, he's got this dog now. He's got to get out of the basement and walk the dog.
Well,
Right? I mean, something as simple as that. And it put me to tears because
doesn't it make you feel
I
good,
know
though?
that we're saving a soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
These dogs are a total game changer for our veterans. They really are. A lot of people say, well, it's just a dog. No, it's not just a dog. It gives them a reason to get up in the morning. They have to take care of that dog. They have to groom that dog. They have to walk that dog.
Correct.
They gives them some
Correct.
responsibility because other than that, there's nothing for them. And as far as teamwork, I'm so proud of the team that K9 has. Our vice president, Reggie Latuca, I mean, she puts her heart and soul into everything we do. And we have such a great core of volunteers that, I come up with a lot of ideas, but they're the ones that carry them out. I'm a great thinker.
Right. Here's an idea number 10 for the.
Yeah, exactly. But now carry it out and make it work.
Yeah, right. Right.
So thank God we've got
Those are the
team.
doers, right?
Well, right. Thank God I've got the team of volunteers that I do. Thank God there's Reggie Latuca to ensure that everything is running the way it's supposed to be running. But without it's just like War Dogs. You've got a core of people in your group that are always going to be there for you. Always make sure that you're doing things the right way, going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And by the funds you raise, like you said, the gentleman that you had come and speak, I mean, believe me, he was recluse. I interviewed him before he came in the program, and he was just a shell of a person. He was timid, didn't want to talk. 3-4 months after having that service dog, he tells his mom, "Let's go to Walmart." I want to.
How old is he?
Oh God, he's in his. I don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah, be late 20s,
late 20s,
yeah.
maybe
And
late 20s.
I had to tell you, when you speak from the heart, there's nothing better.
And he's just
He
as
just
sincere.
spoke,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you not want to help these veterans? And what they've seen in combat, you and I couldn't, we don't have nightmares that bad.
Yeah.
Okay? And yet we expect them to go there and protect our country, protect us, and for them to endure what they're enduring. but come home and just say, thanks for your service. It's been nice.
Yeah. Well, and there for the longest time, what bothered me about NAM era was they weren't even thanked for their service.
No.
So for me, being probably 8, 9 years younger for that, and I saw the effects, the negative impact on those families,
Right.
and lived through it myself. My son was a Navy corpsman. He was an FMF corpsman with the Marines. And the things that they had to see and endure, I don't think, the way I'll say it, Michael, is I really don't believe that the mind is conditioned.
No.
We don't condition. Now the Taliban conditions
Oh, yeah, the
those
soldiers
kids
can
from
do
little
that.
on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? We don't condition our kids to see that or endure that type of thing. And I just think that if we want to continue to enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy here in the United States,
Right.
then we damn well better take care of those young men and women that go to protect our.
That's right.
You know,
they
so-
ask for nothing when they go in.
No.
But then the sad part is, when they come home, there's really nothing for them. You know, we built, I'm sure you know, we built a memorial in Shanahan State Park called the Forgotten Warrior Memorial. It's for veterans who committed suicide because of their PTSD.
Right.
Because when a veteran commits suicide because of his PTSD, there's nothing for them. There's no acknowledgement.
Right.
You know, they should be given a ribbon. They should be given a medal. They should be given something. So these families have something to go back and say, at least somebody acknowledges the death of my son was for a reason. So we built that memorial all on our own to honor those families. And I tell everybody when we're there, if there's one takeaway from this you need to walk away with, is that we want everybody to know that these kids that took their life are a true hero in every sense of the word, and they need to be honored as a hero.
Yes. Thank you, Michael.
I mean,
You for that.
because
Absolutely.
nobody else wants to acknowledge them. The government, they don't even want to really acknowledge that there's a problem, because that shows a weakness in their military.
You're closer to that than I am. I really don't have that level of insight. But I'll never forget, if I may kind of share a father-son story.
Please.
So my oldest son, or my middle son, he finished, when they hit our Twin Tower, he calls home and he says, I'm going to serve. He was a freshman in college. And right, wrong, or different, his mother took the lead and kind of talked him off the ledge, give it some time. Well, it's almost like the day after he graduates, he goes to sign up. And when he came home after 6 years, I'll never forget, there was a television program around Memorial Day that I wanted him to see and sit down and, let's call it an experience with his mother and father, right? So we sit down, and it was more of a play on corpsmen that gave their life for their men.
Right.
Well, those men were in the front row, watching this play. Well, I didn't realize all of the effects of wartime, and so my son got pretty emotional. He walked out on the deck. We took kind of a stroll around our subdivision, and he shared with me a few things that really bothered him. And so then you start to realize the impact on your loved one, right? And he was with small teams and things like that, so it was very, very aggressive for him. And then you start to really understand. And now he's working up at the VA hospital helping his men. He can make a lot more money, okay? But he's one of those dedicated young men and or women that want to serve his men. So God bless those people. At least we could do. And he didn't realize I was that involved in War Dogs. He came up with an idea here a year or two ago. He said, Dad, we've always been a dog family. What do you think about, I noticed the effects on, what do you think with the motorcycle community? So we started a Steven Pinsler worked with the guys up in the Kenosha area, and they started another War Dogs group
Thank
up
God.
there. So these guys have the energy behind it. You're going to get a couple more dogs out of those folks.
Oh, I'm looking for it, especially
So-
especially with the June 4th ride.
Yes, sir.
So I got to tell you, if you're looking to help to provide a service dog to a veteran, please come out. Even if you can't ride, come out to support our veterans. And you know, it's a great cause. War Dog Charity Riders, believe me, I wouldn't be associated with them if they weren't all that and more. And Doug, you have made such a huge difference
Thank you, Mike.
to War Dog Charity Riders. I mean, people gravitate you because you're a good guy.
Thank you.
No, and it's
My
a-
wife would probably disagree.
And it's
but
a
no.
great organization.
Yeah.
Steve, they just gave me that high five. Tell me we got it just a
Sure,
few minutes ago.
sure.
I want to.
Did you call me
Steve
Steven
again?
again?
I know. Doug.
That's
Jackson,
all right. I love the man. He's been.
I want to thank you for being my
Sure.
guest tonight, and keep doing what you're doing because you're
Thank
doing.
you.
War Dogs Charity Riders is doing some amazing things, and I can't thank you enough for supporting K9 because you have made such a difference in the service dogs that you provided to our veterans. It's amazing what you've done for them. You've
Thank you.
changed their life. You really have, and.
One at a time, my friend. One at a time.
Yeah.
We got to do a better job. Like I said, I'm slowing down in running a dealership.
Right.
So this is kind of my main. In fact, this morning I did the ride route for the
Right, you were telling me that.
for the June ride. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward. This is going to be
Yeah.
an awesome ride. I'll be out
it'll
there.
be a state police led ride.
Yeah.
John Hand and his group are helping us out.
Steve, there I go again.
It's okay. He's a good
Doug,
man.
That was a joke. Doug Jackson, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
my guest tonight.
Thank you,
God
Mike.
bless you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
brother.